Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of the NMG speedrun tutorial. Last episode we went through Desert Palace, and depending on your route you got 2 bottles and a net, or 1 bottle, or ice rod and bottles and a net, or you just got the gloves. In this episode we're going to talk about some of the new tech. There are 3 game mechanics to learn here, 2 major and 1 minor. First is a technique known as fake flippers. We'll talk about it when we get to it, but it's one that merits practice since it's useful both in NMG as well as randomizer. Second is the bomb jump. We'll talk about this one where it's pertinent, but it's also a good one to practice, as there are 3 useful instances of this in the NMG run, and several in randomizer. That said, let's get back to the run. We just killed Offland Molus, and we're going to have to make our way to the South Shore. If you got Ice Rod, this will look familiar. First, we are going to lift the rock, do some quick hops off the ledges to our right. This is performed by pressing the A button when you're at the ledge. You can dash straight down from here, but stopping before the cactuses and dashing through them is pixel perfect and I don't recommend it. We'll go back the way we came in. We'll go past the dam and to the next screen. Here we'll quick hop off the ledge and dash along the bottom of the screen, doing our best to avoid enemies on the way. We'll come to some dancing pickles, which I'll kill for demonstration purposes only. The game only checks to see if you have flippers once every other frame. This means that when you enter the water, you have 1 frame of free movement. This doesn't sound like a lot, but don't worry, we do have a setup for this. The way this works is if you are beside a screen transition, you can use that 1 frame to scroll the screen and the game will assume you have flippers because you came from the last screen swimming. The setup. Step 1. Make sure you're firm against this wall. Note that if you dashed here, you may get pushed off the wall by the diagonal. This can happen sometimes, so just make sure you're right up against the wall. Step 2 is walk right up to the bush. Step 3, slash your sword and hold B and press up and right on the D-pad. We covered this in movement tech, but I'll say it again. You get 15 frames, or a quarter of a second, where Link is stuck due to the sword animation. We abuse the animation to make sure that we're able to use the diagonal when we get the control back. This is vital. If you miss the timing here, you will either move up too early or right too early. Step 4. Once you're moving diagonally, you want to ledge jump at the top of the screen. Last step. While you're in the jumping animation, you can hold right. If you've done this right, you will now be swimming into the transition and swimming on the next screen. We want the whirlpool to the right. One quick note about fake flippers. If you get hit in the water, the game doesn't know what to do with you since it doesn't know where you came from. It'll just place you on the ground. If you move, you will hard lock your game. Instead, save and quit, and that's pretty much the end of the run. If you are new to speedrunning, this isn't necessarily a run killer. It's pretty hard to get hit here since we're not going far. With some practice through the water mechanics, you'll be just fine. Once through the whirlpool, head up the ramp and out of the water and go left and up. Here we can kill this pickle with the sign if you so choose, or just pick up the rock and enter the cave. Now we'll need to save the old man. Just head to the right, up, and right again. The old man will talk at you, and then you can go through the door. On the other side of the door, the old man will talk about pits and how falling into them hurts, or something. Walk around the pit, or hover over it, whatever you feel like doing. I like to hover here because the old man looks funny when airwalking over a pit. Walk to the end of the diagonal hallway to the right. The old man will talk some nonsense about you being the chosen one. Just humor him and head down, staying firm against the left wall to avoid the bats. We're now on Death Mountain. This is a friendly place, where all the creatures here welcome you, with rainbows and good feelings. No? Did I get that wrong? Oh, right, I remember. Death Mountain. Everything wants to kill you. At this point in the game, you can't kill anything on these screens. The rocks are random-ish, so deal with them as they come. The dead rocks are dead inside and they hate you for breathing. Seriously, they're big old jerks. We could talk about them forever, but play enough and you'll understand the universal hatred for them. Hitting them with your sword will turn them to stone for a short time, but they can block your path if you're unlucky. You can also get stuck inside them. Bring the old man back to his home? It's a cave. Who are we to judge? We live with our uncle in a house that only has 1 bed. I'll let you draw your own conclusions on that one. He gives you a mirror so you can look at your judgmental self and reflect on the choices that brought you here. Once we're done with him, we can use spin speed to get up the stairs and make our lives a little easier. It's not much safer, but it saves time. Make sure you double pump up the stairs to climb them faster. Once you're at the top, run past Spectacle Rock and you will see a portal. At the beginning, I said that there were 3 things we were going to talk about and then only brought up 2. Yep, I didn't forget. This one's minor, as it only saves 13 frames every time you get it right. This piece of tech is known as the Quick Warp. The Quick Warp happens on certain pixels. If you've noticed in the upper left-hand corner of my screen, there's a QW that is either flashing or always on. This is part of the practice hack and it tells you when you're standing on the right pixel for a quick warp. Try to find a visual cue that works best in order for you to line up quickly. It's not a massive save over a run, maybe like 4 or 5 seconds, but it can't hurt to learn. Use the mirror to warp back to the light world. We're going to want to quick hop off the ledge here and go into the Tower of Hera. This dungeon is pretty short, but there's a couple things here that you need. 1. When you enter, you should have between 9 and 12 arrows. If you did your job right in Desert Palace, you'll have enough. If not, you will need to do some backup strats in the next tower that we will cover in the next episode. Hit the switch, go to the left, and go down the stairs. Hit the switch at the bottom of the stairs, grab the key, then use the mirror. While in a dungeon, the mirror will bring you back to the beginning. Hit the switch again, then hit the next one, dash to the top of the room, and avoid the enemies as best you can. Go through the locked door and down the stairs. There are 2 ways of handling this room. You can either practice your poke dashes here, or we can skip avoiding floor tiles. Pick up the pots at the bottom of the screen and make sure the pegs are down that surround the door. You can use the pots to smash the tiles when they start moving. Line up with the switch, shoot an arrow to the left, and put Link on the pegs. The pegs will rise and make us immune to damage. Grab a drink, as this is known as the coffee break. You should also switch to your lamp here. If you mess this up, just stand beside the tiles with your sword out, and you can practice poke dashing. Once this is done, go through the door and avoid the Moldorms and go down. Light the torches, avoid the Stalfos here, open the chest, get the big key and mash Y through the text to mirror back to the beginning. Okay, this time we want to hit the switch, go up the right staircase and into the dreaded beetle room. There are a couple different ways to do this room. This room does take a little practice to get right, so don't get too discouraged if it takes a little bit. Method 1 is to knock the rightmost beetle into the pit, followed by the middle one. Hit the switch, lift the pot for a bomb, and throw the pot at the 3rd beetle to open the door. Method 2 is to walk around the pit in front of us, move down to the center beetle, and slash while facing left. The knockback will cause us to hit the switch while knocking the beetle down the pit. Pick up the pot with the bomb under it for the beetle from the far right, and the second pot for the beetle on the far left. In this room, we ignore everything and open the big key door. Same goes for the next room, avoid everything, walk past the walls, go to the bottom of the room, and then dash to the right. You can hit the switch here for safety if you want. It will lower the pegs at the top of the tower that surround a bunch of pots with hearts underneath. Now we come to an area known as the petting zoo. Pick up a pot and you can kill a Moldorm with it, otherwise just do your best to avoid them. There is a heart on the bottommost pot on the left if you need it. Now, we need to do a bomb jump to save some time. Bomb jumps work by taking damage from the bomb to boost us over a pit. There are 2 ways to do this. You either stand maximum 2 pixels away from the pit, or you can use the boots with a timed bonk, and you can be up to 4 pixels away from the pit. I use the visual cue of Link's shadow on the ground with the floor tile to help me figure out where to stand. You can do a dash turn by tapping A and down to face away from the pit if you are in the right position, but facing the pit. Place the bomb, and it will push Link across the pit. If you're doing the boots variant, drop the bomb, count to 3, and bonk into the left wall. It's a quickish count to 3, mind you, no Mississippis in the count. With some practice, you can get the timing down. It's worth mentioning if you fall down here, you fall down 2 floors to the entrance. If you fail this, it can be a run killer, but with some practice, you should get it more often than not. Open the big chest for the Moon Pearl, mash L and R for the text box, and move down to the left staircase, avoiding the enemies here. If you don't want to learn the bomb jump at this stage, I don't blame you. The intended way to get the Moon Pearl is to come up to the left staircase, hit the star next to the fire bar, and fall down the top hole from the top side, and you will land on the big chest platform. There are also fairies in this dungeon if you need them, but it requires a little extra time. Fall down this top hole here, you will fall all the way down. You can fill your bottle with fairies, and take the portal back to the top of the tower. If you're just going straight to Moldorm, you can skip the bumper by lining up here. There's a little lenience to this one, dash to the right, and go up the stairs to get our last pendant. There's 7 different ways to kill this boss. You can either slash him, or wait, I may have this wrong. Right, there's only one way to kill this boss with the equipment we have. We slash him with the sword. 2 quick notes. Moldorm has 2 phases. The first 4 hits on Moldorm will do nothing to change his behavior. However, on hit 5, he will move really fast and most likely knock you off the platform. If you fall off, you need to redo the fight. This brings us to note 2. Falling down the center will put you down 2 floors instead of 1, so avoid the center as much as possible. You can mitigate being pushed off if you stand facing away from the edge you are closest to, holding out your sword. If Moldorm comes at you, he will tink off your sword, which will push you back towards the pit. You'll need to press the direction toward the platform when this happens. This will keep you from falling in, and you may get an extra hit on Moldorm this way. This is especially important during his enraged phase, as it might save you in this fight. Finish off Moldorm, pick up your heart container, move back to the center of the arena, and pick up your last pendant. Use L and R for the text box, and split your timer when the sword swooshing tink thing happens. There's a fun sentence. That's it for this episode. In the next episode, we will upgrade our plastic sword into a lightsaber, kill things for money, and discover the lost pyramids of Hyrule. I'd like to shout out Hacksaw for helping me organize my thoughts for these episodes, and Rabid Bluejay for creating the thumbnail for this series. Links to their channels are in the description below. There are also a few other links in the description for all manner of NMGs, SNES, wikis, Discord type stuff, and as always, leave a comment for the things you want to see or things I've missed, or just to say hi. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.